So let me just draw a diagram on here. Say we have this plane. And let's call it plane T. Oh, that's not good. Plane T. And in plane T, we've got a bunch of different points. And let's say some of them are connected by a line. Let's call this P, Q, and R. Let's call this point F. And let's call this point M. And we'll call this point B. So let's talk through some of the relationships that are in this diagram. So these are some of the things they're going to ask you. They're going to ask you to tell me how many points there are. So in this, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. They're going to ask you to name things that are collinear. Collinear means on the same line. They're going to ask you to find things that are coplanar, which means on the same plane. So when I look at this, for instance, oops, sorry about that. P, Q, and R are collinear because they are on the same line. Coplanar, all of these points are coplanar. Any of these points would be coplanar. They are all contained inside plane T. BFP, BFR, BMF. Any of these are going to be coplanar. Additionally, if they ask you to name the plane, you could name this plane using lots of different methods. You could name it by referring to T. It could be called plane T. You could also call it plane FRM or plane BPM. All of these combinations of points you see would be good names for this plane. Also goes for this line. Let's say they wanted me to name a line in this diagram. I could name this line right here with P, Q, and R. This line right here could be named so many different ways. It could be named PQ, QP, PR, RQ, and there are others. You can see all of these refer to this line right there. And so they're going to ask you all sorts of questions like this. And so I just want you to do your best to kind of do that. Use kind of what I talked about here as an example. And then the last thing they're going to talk about is they're going to give you 5 examples from real life of postulates 1.2a through 1.2e. And you need to match up those postulates with the correct example. And just know you will use each postulate one time for questions 25 through 30.